Hello and welcome to this live training. If you're watching this live, let me quickly know in the comments if you can see me and hear me so that I know that we are ready to go. For those of you who are joining me for the very first time, hello and welcome. I am Sinem. I am the founder of the Medium Writing Academy and of this Facebook group that you are in. I have been writing on Medium for 3 years now, managed to build an audience of more than 40,000 followers, got more than 5 million views on my stories on Medium alone and a lot more outside of Medium. So I'm actually really passionate about sharing all of the lessons that I wish I had known before, and I'm glad that you're joining me today. So we have a super interesting topic today, right? Okay, perfect. I'm seeing your comments. Hi, Rocky. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Zafar. Hi, Anna. Hi, Roy. Amazing. Thank you for your comments. So we have a super interesting topic today, and I'm quickly bringing my slides up here because I've made a ton of notes. I wanted to keep this short, but I actually ended up realizing that I have a lot more to say about this topic than I initially thought. We're going to talk about passive income. The reason is that I'm seeing a ton of content recently that's all about how to make money online and how to build passive income and how to build side hustles. And in a way, I love it because I love empowering people, writers, aspiring entrepreneurs, to start their own thing, to be their own boss, and to build income streams and businesses they are really passionate about. The problem is that a lot of this advice is just not really tangible. A lot of the promises are not really real, or they are not realistic, let's put it that way. So I really felt the urge to share my own perspective and my own experiences as someone who has actually built an online business, who has managed to create income sources that allow me to create my daily life according to my own rules and expectations. Not the way that is actually often promised in those articles and videos, but in a more honest way. And I will show you step by step how my behind the scenes of my business actually looks like and what I've built on top of my writing. Because in the past 2 years, I actually managed to build a 6-figure business, 6-figure profits besides the Medium Partner Program, thanks to Medium. And if you're watching this, you're probably already writing on Medium, or you're thinking about writing on Medium. So it's really interesting to understand that Medium's biggest potential is not really the partner program, but way more than that. So I'm really excited to share more about that. But I'm actually also interested in hearing your opinion. When you hear passive income, what do you think about? What does passive income mean to you? Why did you join this training? So that's actually a really interesting question, and I would love to hear your thoughts about the topic. So let me quickly know in the comment section what your thoughts about this topic are, what kind of pictures you have in mind when you think of passive income in a way that it is communicated in the online world. So we have a short delay, so I will quickly wait for your answers because I'm really curious. And to be honest, to me, there was a very traditional sense of passive income when I first came across this term, because I came across passive income in a way that you can create content on certain platforms, for example, like Udemy online courses, and you put that course out there and then you keep making money forever because people are forever going to buy your online courses. Surprise, surprise, that's not the way it works. But when I first tapped into this world, that's what I thought. And looking back, you often feel stupid for the things you thought in the beginning. But that's how we get started, right? That's how you tap into a new world. And at the beginning, there is nothing wrong when about believing certain things. The important point is just questioning certain beliefs and statements that people share. So let me quickly check your comments here. So income that continues to come after you've made the initial effort. You don't need to keep working for that income. That's actually a nice definition. So I think that's the more neutral way of putting it. Royalties, exactly, that probably matches the definition we had before. Then we have making money while you sleep, providing a service to people that doesn't require you to work 24/7. Yes, really nice. Passive income is income that is generated while you are not working on it. Cool. Sales generated from pre-recorded courses. Yeah, that can be one example. Cool. Thank you all for sharing all of your thoughts. So let's dig into it. I'll be honest with you, you are in the right place right now for this training. If you are not after a get-rich-quick scheme, I'm not going to tell you how to quickly make money on the internet and quickly build passive income streams. I wish I could. I don't know how it works quickly and without the effort. So I'm going to tell you how to actually make it while making an effort, while caring about your audience, about your topic, and the message you have inside of you. This is really for you if you're interested in building a reliable, consistent, and honest income based on your writing, ideally. And if you're not afraid of a little hard work, and I feel like that's the part that is often ignored, to be honest, when we're talking about income streams and passive income. Just a quick background. In the traditional sense, passive income, when we talk about passive income, we often talked about two things: the stock market and real estate. And the reason is that for both of those, it's kind of tested and proven, right? You have your investment, you put your money into the stock market or in real estate, and a lot of people have done it before. A lot of people have kind of proven that this is a way to generate passive income by making an initial investment. And that's what passive income, was traditionally what we understood when we thought about passive income. But a lot has changed in the past years. And that's when it gets actually interesting, because today's passive income expectations are quite different. And when I scroll through Instagram or other pages on the internet, what I see is that a lot of people are selling this dream of passive income that's all about making a lot of money without work and without risks. So, it's those promises that tell you you don't have to work, or you don't have to work more than, an hour per week, which is just ridiculous. And you will make a ton of money, and you can sit on the beach and sip your pina colada and do whatever you want, and you will still keep making money. And it's just kind of ridiculous, because a lot of these people don't show the behind the scenes. They don't show how they have actually done it. You don't really understand how they are making money, how much money they are actually making. So there are a lot of question marks when you think about those dreams that are being sold. And lots of people are trying to sell you this, fancy, luxurious dream of passive income. And it's really hard to figure out what is real and what isn't, because you don't even know if these people are, owning those fancy cars and yachts, or if it's just rented for a day and for a photo shoot. And it's just a kind of a weird scene on the internet. And what's even more difficult is that you don't know if these people are only paying their bills by selling you this dream of passive income, even though they are working a lot behind the scenes as well. They might be telling you that, they are on the beach and they're not working, but they might be working on the beach all day long. And the only reason they are living in Bali is that the living costs there are so low. It's just kind of a weird situation. And I already told you, that was also what I thought about passive income when I started. And I've been, into the world of online business for more than 4 years now. I've created my first online courses in 2018, or actually maybe even before that. So on the left-hand side, you can actually see an income statement of my Udemy courses. So that's the first place I ever produced content on. And I have created a few courses there and then never did anything else. I had no idea how to create courses. I didn't have an audience. I had no idea how to actually do it on this specific platform. And you can see the earnings, right? So this is my passive income that I generated over the months of doing nothing. And then on the right side, I also have a screenshot of my Medium earnings of old articles. So this was last month. I have almost 500 articles on Medium now, and a lot of them are making passive income in a way that they are making a few dollars each month. And this is also kind of ridiculous and kind of doesn't really match the expectation, because I have a lot of people who, tell me, or who message me and ask me, hey, I saw that you can make money on Medium. Is that passive income? Is it that I publish an article once, or I publish 5 articles and then I keep making money forever off these articles? And the honest answer is no way. Like, you can make a lot of money on Medium. It works. It perfectly works if you're willing to do the work. But it's not passive income. It's not true that you once publish an article and then it keeps generating money forever. And that's not true for Udemy. That's not true anywhere, actually, because you always have other people producing content, and you always need to, think about the relevance of the content. And the older the piece gets, the harder it is to monetize it. And let's dig a bit deeper, because that's kind of the bad news when you're new to the online business world and you're not really aware of what you can expect. The truth is, in content creation, there is no real passive income, in a sense that you never have to lift a finger and you never have to do anything anymore. That's just kind of a dream that a lot of people are being sold to, a lot of people are selling. I personally don't even think that this is what you should be dreaming about, because I don't think that anyone should, make a ton of money without making an effort, because I see money as an exchange of value and as an exchange of solving problems. For me, entrepreneurship basically means solving problems for others. And I think maybe that's not even bad news, that's good news, because if everybody would make a ton of money without making an effort, it would kind of be weird. But there is, of course, good news too, and that's the fact that you can indeed detach your time from your income through an online business. And that's what I did, and that's why I'm now able to make money without constantly creating new content, or without worrying about platform changes, algorithm updates, etc. And I still produce content for Medium. First, because I love it. Second, because I feel like I have so much to share, and like it would kind of be hard for me not to share all of the things that I have in my mind. I love writing. I love, communicating with my audience. There is no reason for me to stop doing the work that I love doing. But at the same time, I have created an environment and a system that allows me to turn my articles into something more, and to monetize them more than just through the Medium Partner Program. And I hope that this is also interesting for a lot of you guys who are watching this now. And the only reason this works is that you are looking for solutions, and you're looking to provide solutions for your audience. This is really a system that works if you are all about, how can I help my audience? How can I provide even more value? How can I create product, services, content that helps them to make even faster progress and be even better in what I'm trying to teach them. Okay, now let me quickly get back to active income, because I feel like this is also important to kind of distinguish. So when we talk about active income, what we really mean is you actively work for the money you make. Now, I have a random example here, but if it takes you 5 hours to write an article and you charge $500 and your client pays you this sum for the work that you did, you basically exchange your time for money. You do the work, you send them the article, you get the money, and it's done. There is no follow-up payment, so you don't make more money off of that article. It's your work and it's a payment. And this is the case for pretty much, not all, but most jobs in the world, right? Every hairdresser, every therapist, they are seeing a certain number of clients. They are getting paid per client or per hour or whatever it is. And they can only serve a certain number of people in a day or in a week. So there is kind of a cap to what they can earn, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And if you're really good at what you're doing, this cap can actually be pretty damn high, and you can make a lot of money being a hairdresser or a therapist, even though you are working one-on-one with clients and exchanging your time for money. So when you ask yourself what's wrong with active income, the answer is nothing is really wrong with it. It's the natural way we are used to working. And I don't say that this is a bad thing. I still have a ton of active income streams. I am showing up here. This is an active thing that I'm doing, right? I am hosting one-on-one coaching sessions. I'm doing a lot of stuff that is active because I don't really see a sense in not doing active income work. The only thing that I want to share here is that you can have more and that you can build more. It's not that anything is wrong with active income and with, having a certain product or service and charging your clients. It's just the fact that there is another world that you might want to explore. So in my opinion, the wrong way of thinking is, how can I make money without doing anything? What I would ask myself instead is, how can I build a career or a business that I truly enjoy, that allows me to live life according to my own rules, and that allows me to maybe work less if that's what you want to do, that allows me to make more money if that's what you want to do, that allows me to work at a different place or in different times or whatever it is. And this ideal version of work looks different for all of us. So there is not really a one size fits all, because my ideal life might be different to what you want to create for yourself. But I believe this is actually the way we should move on when we talk about passive income. Not in a way of, okay, how can I stop working and make money, but how can I build an environment and the foundation that actually allows me to spend my time on the activities, on the people, on work that I really enjoy, while making more money ideally, and still being able to serve my audience in the best possible way. And that's when building these passive income streams actually comes to play. And what I quickly want to show you now is how to turn your Medium articles into a funnel. That's what we call it in the online business world, so that you can actually turn these articles into something bigger, into an entire online business, instead of just having separate articles on your profile. This is actually way more complicated than what I'm going to share with you now. There is so much more to know about it. It's just a quick overview that I hope will give you a quick source of inspiration to understand what you can actually do. I will share you all of this based on my own examples. If anything is unclear, just drop your comments, drop your questions in the comments box, and I will check it once I'm done explaining all of this. So we have a funnel, right? You always have to think in terms of funnels. And the crazy thing about Medium is that it allows you to reach a ton of people, right? A ton of readers. If you're doing it correctly, Medium allows you to build an audience of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, and attract a ton of readers on your work. That's kind of the top of the funnel. Now, what we do with those readers is, you can either let them read an article and then go away and read another article of yours or of somebody else, or you can attract them into your own universe, into your own world, into your online business, and try to build genuine relationships with them. And here's how you can do that. So we have an article, right? You attract those readers through valuable content. I have free in brackets here because most readers on Medium are paying to access your articles, so that's something to be aware of. But in most cases, we're still talking about free content because it's easy for them to access. They are paying for the platform, but they're not separately paying for the article, right? So you are attracting your audience through valuable content. This is incredibly important, because if somebody reads an article and they feel like they didn't really get any value out of it, they are going to leave. They're not even going to make it to the end of the article. This is incredibly important, because at the end of an article, you ideally have a call to action. That's what we call CTA. You have this call to action because you have an email list. And this is really the most important thing every writer should take care of as soon as they start publishing, or as soon as they can make time for it. I know that a lot of you guys are super busy, that this is a side project or a side hustle, and that creating and growing an email list might sound confusing. But trust me, it can be really simple, and you don't need to do it right away if you're super new to Medium. But keep it, keep it as an idea, and ask yourself if you have some time to do it, if you can dedicate a weekend or an afternoon to creating that email list so that you can start generating email subscribers as soon as possible. This is really important. So you have your call to action. I have multiple different call to actions depending on the article that I have, depending on the topic of the article. And once you click on that call to action, you end up on a landing page, which is kind of a sign-up form, where you can sign up to receive a freebie, which is kind of a free gift that you receive in exchange for your email address. And as soon as you complete that form, you receive an email with the gift and with some additional information. All right, so the next step, and this is kind of a bonus step, but I really wanted to introduce you to this because that's how I do it. As soon as you enter your email address in this form or in any of my forms, what happens is that you receive your freebie. So you receive the free toolkit in this case, but you end up on a page that allows you to purchase another ebook. This is an offer. It's a kind of a welcome offer for new subscribers. So all of my readers who read personal development articles of mine end up on this page and they can purchase an ebook. This is fully automated. This is happening on all of my articles. I have thousands of views on my articles every single day. Even though my older articles might not make hundreds of dollars each month, they are attracting readers, and there's always kind of articles that are getting views even though I don't know why. And every single reader who clicks on that link and who wants to download my freebie also ends up on this page. And this is the kind of passive income that's actually really interesting, because you set it up once. This is something that I've done once, or that I have done with my team, and it's just in the back end generating money over and over again while I don't really do anything. This is the kind of passive income that I generate while I'm sleeping, because people are reading my articles all the time. They are, discovering my articles 24/7 all the time. And these purchases are happening all the time. And there is actually also an additional offer to this. So if you purchase this product, you can also add the audiobook to the offer. This is something that happens on autopilot, and this is something a lot of Medium writers are not aware of. But if you are writing nonfiction content, if you are teaching your readers something, and if you want to help them through a transformation, this is something you can do. If they enjoyed your free article, they might want to download your freebie or access your freebie. And once they do that, you can immediately offer them something. You can immediately offer them a cheap product just to get them going and to introduce them to your business, to your offers. You don't need to do that immediately. You can do that, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. In my case, this happens automatically as soon as they sign up. This is the kind of passive income that doesn't require me to work, but that had that initial investment of me setting all of this up. That's just something to think about. Let me quickly check the comments to see if there's anything unclear about all of this. Quick question about where we host our ebook. We are selling this via ClickFunnels, so it's also hosted there. What about business on Amazon for ebooks? You can also sell it via Amazon. It's on ClickFunnels. We are doing it on ClickFunnels, and that's really advanced knowledge, but because that way you can control way more of it. But that's way too much into detail, actually, about what I want to share here. So let's move to the next step. Once they are in your email list, no matter if they made that purchase or not, your next step or your next goal is to nurture the relationship with your subscribers via email. And this is so important. That's why I always say, start your email list, grow your email list, make sure you get people into your universe, because all your followers can be gone on any platform, But what's always yours is your email list, and nobody can take this away from you. And email is an incredibly important tool or platform because email is one of the things that still requires a lot of trust. You don't give your email address away for every person and for every crap freebie, ideally. So if you make it into the inbox of someone, that's actually a huge sign that they trust you and that they want to hear more from you. A lot of people will unsubscribe, and that's fine. You don't want to have people in your list who are not interested in hearing from you. But ideally, you have people who want to hear from you, and you keep nurturing that relationship via relevant and helpful emails. And number 4, once you've built that relationship, is that you sell products that will help them to solve their problems, that ideally back up what you've said in your articles. And in our case, and again, this is kind of passive income, because in our case, we have an automated process where if somebody signs up here, this is the first offer they get. And then over a period of, I believe, 14 days, they get automated emails. It's an email sequence, you can call it, where they automatically get emails. And at the end of the sequence, they have the opportunity to purchase a product. This is happening on autopilot. I'm not doing anything to sell this product. It's running over and over again for every subscriber that joins our email list. And this is the kind of passive income that I want you to think about when we're talking about passive income and making money without working. Because this is something that's happening while I'm sleeping. And of course, my articles on Medium are also generating income while I'm sleeping. But this is different because this is something you can control. And this is something you can really control on different levels, because you can decide on the pricing. You are in charge of writing those emails. You are in charge of creating the products. So this is all about what kind of effort you do and what kind of results you can create without algorithms, without curators, etc. And that's why I believe this is actually the most powerful way of thinking about your content and about your content on Medium. And maybe to just quickly point it out, the reason why Medium is the perfect place to start that kind of knowledge business is because you are already writing articles. If somebody is reading a 5-minute article of yours, that is already a huge relationship, because just think of other platforms like TikTok or Instagram, where people spend like a few seconds on your content. That's nice, and they might like your content, but reading a 5-minute article is so much more. It's in depth. It's a relationship that's already so much closer than on any other platform. And that's why this is actually really a huge opportunity to build that kind of backlog business on top of your writing. All right, let me quickly move through the process. So you have 4 steps here. You need to attract your readers. You need to attract your email subscribers. This is happening in most of your cases on Medium, right? Also, a huge part of my list is built through Medium. I also have other places where I generate leads and where I get email subscribers, but this is always the first step. So the first question is, how do I attract readers or email subscribers? If you're already writing on Medium, you already have the answer. The second question is, how do I engage them? How do I keep them engaged? Ideally, you do this via email. Maybe you add a few different ways to do that as well. Maybe you do videos, you do audio, but email is really the most effective and promising way to engage with your subscribers. The third step is the conversion step. So that's when you ask yourself, okay, who is my ideal audience member? What kind of problems do they have? And how can I help them solve this? And offer them a product or service that's helping them to overcome their problems. This is when you convert your reader into an email subscriber and then into a paying customer. And the fourth step is, how do I deliver on these promises? So now that I've made promises, how do I make sure that this paying customer actually achieves the results that he or she wanted to achieve in the first place? So these are the 4 steps that you always need to keep in mind if you want to turn your writing into a proper, reliable, and independent online business. And in my opinion, there are, four important components of this. First of all, it's value driven. This entire system or process, or however you might want to call it, is not going to work if you are not delivering value. If you are not delivering value, nobody will subscribe, nobody will read your articles, and nobody will buy your products. The only reason they will stay subscribed and they will follow you and they will want to learn more from you and they will buy from you is because they are getting value out of the content, out of the writing that you're sharing. And this entire process, and even though passive income always seems like this mysterious thing where you push a few buttons and you automatically make money, this system is based on human relationships. Even though there's a lot of automation in the back end, the reason people stay subscribed or purchase our products is because they trust us as people and they feel a connection to me and to Philip and to what we are doing. And if you're receiving our emails, you will realize that we are talking about our beliefs and about our dreams and our goals a lot, because that's where the human connection happens. And we know that a lot of people are not attracted by what we have to share and by what we are doing, and that's perfectly fine, because we don't want to have people in our email lists who don't resonate with our message. We want to serve people and we want to work with people who think similarly, who have similar ambitions, and who just where this human connection happens. And this kind of online business and this kind of passive income streams do require an initial investment, and the initial investment in most cases is time and effort. You don't build this in a few hours or a few days. It takes a lot of effort to understand whom you want to serve. It takes effort to understand who you are and what your message is and what kind of product and service you want to offer, how to do it, not to talk about, the entire creation and sales process. This is a huge thing. And as I said, I wanted to or tried to break it down in just a few simple steps, but there is way more happening on the back end of all of this. And last but not least, even if you know what you're doing, it's likely going to require you some testing. You're going to test different landing pages. You're going to test different types of pricing, different products, etc. So if you are willing to, accept these 4 points, and if this is something that sounds solid to you, and if that sounds like something you want to do, I can just highly encourage you to take a closer look at it. Ask yourself, what are the kinds of offers that I want to create for my readers? Is there anything specific that I'm already talking about all the time in my content that I want to focus even more on? All right. And now to the probably more danger kind of thing, but if I would give my younger self one piece of advice, it would be staying away from, passive income strategies, businesses or gurus that kind of promise you that you will make money without doing anything. And that's kind of the big difference between building a solid foundation, creating offers, creating emails, creating those email sequences and automating them versus, selling you the dream of you don't have to do anything. Because there is a huge difference. In the first case, you are making an initial investment. You are trying to figure all these things out. You are trying to get in touch with your subscribers, try to figure out what their pain points are. And you're creating all these resources and products and sales funnels for them. It might be passive income in the second step, where it's all figured out, it's all set up, and it's all generating money without you having to do anything. But that's not how it starts. Nobody will pay you if there is nothing that you can actually provide, or if there's no sort of help that they want to receive from you. And that's the huge difference. Passive income, passive online income, yes, it exists, but you need to keep in mind that there needs to be something that is actually of value, because that's the only reason you will make money. And creating this something and creating that environment and setting up all these pages and all the emails and all the sequences, that is a lot of effort. And it doesn't happen overnight. there is a correct way to do it, then there are lots of mistakes people are making. There are shortcuts you can take, and there is a lot of time that you can waste. But even if you do everything correctly, this is, a huge thing to build, and it is reliable, it is consistent, it is scalable, which is amazing. But it requires the work that you do initially, and that's just the major difference here. All right, so I have prepared 3 steps that I would highly suggest that you take if you believe that this is something you want to explore further. The first thing that I would ask myself is, what are my strengths? How can I create value? How am I possibly already creating value for my audience? And how can I solve problems for others? This is a big question. It's not always easy to answer, but ask yourself, what is something that you are doing that a lot of people ask you for advice? What is something that feels easy for you, but really difficult for a lot of other people? What are your friends asking you if they come and, if they call you and want to ask you for advice? Why do they call you? There are a lot of different ways to discover your strengths and figure out what you're good at. This might take some time, but this is really the most important thing, because you need to be good at what you're doing. You need to be at least one step ahead of your audience so that you can help them. The second question is, how exactly do I want to monetize my skills? And there are a ton of different ways to do that, right? You can write books, you can create journals, you can create online courses, you can do one-on-one coaching, you can create resources on top of those coaching sessions. There is so much you can do, and there are so many unconventional ways you can monetize your skills nowadays. But it's just a question you need to ask yourself. Maybe you have a preference, and maybe this question is super obvious to you and the answer is obvious. But if not, maybe just have think about it, take a few minutes and ask yourself, what is the kind of solution and what is the kind of packaging that I actually want to create? And last but not least, if you're watching this, I highly encourage you to talk or to think about 3 small steps that you can take right now or over the weekend or in the next days that will help you to move closer to your goals. And I know this is a big question. You might have 1,000 things on your mind that you might want to do, but ask yourself, what are the 3 simplest steps that you can actually, execute, that you can take action on as soon as possible? Screenshot that question, put it on your phone or on your laptop, and try to come up with answers that will hopefully help you to move closer to that passive income goal without really relying on passive income that doesn't require work, but passive income that is actually based on value and on human relationships. All right, let's see. That was the final slide. Perfect. So, okay, we are already into this for 40 minutes, so that's already been quite long. I will give you a few seconds to drop your questions in the comments box. I will see if there are any questions in the comments box, and if there is anything you want me to answer. And if you already have your answers to these 3 questions, also feel free to drop those into the comments box if you want to share them with the community and with all the others who are watching right now. Okay, let me see what kinds of questions we have here. There's one question about how many years I'm writing. I published my first stories on Medium in July 2018. So that's when I started writing. Quick question about Stripe and PayPal not being available on when your country is not a supported country. There are workarounds for that. I don't know how exactly they are working. I know that there are people who know how it works, but I believe you will figure it out through a Google search. So there are ways to do it. even though they are not official ways. Does Quora work the same way as Medium in terms of funnels? Yes. The only difference, and that's actually a main difference, the difference is that on Quora, you have shorter form content most of the time. It doesn't need to be that way, but most of the time you will have shorter answers, so that relationship building is even more important in the emails. But the funnels are the same. So we are running the same funnels on Quora and on Medium, so we have the same landing pages. It's the same process. Let me see. So there's one question by Sherry. Thank you for joining. What platform do you use to set up your funnel for the ebook? For the ebook, we use ClickFunnels, but there are a lot of other opportunities and platforms that you can use. ClickFunnels is one of the costlier ones, but you can sell via platforms like Teachable, for example, for free. So the initial investment in terms of money for all the platforms and the tech setup that you need is actually pretty low. So we are using Teachable for our courses, and I believe you can actually do it via Teachable for free in the beginning. There might be a lot of other opportunities as well. That's a cool question. How would you approach this online business if you're doing it part-time and without your partner? I would do it the exact same way. If you know that you want to turn your writing into an online business, first focus on a niche. Ask yourself, and focus your content on a niche. If you're writing about tons of different topics, it's going to be hard to build that kind of business because you're not going to have that ideal audience member in mind. Figure out what kind of niche you want to serve. Create relevant content. If you can only create one article per week, that's it for you. That's your pace. And the rest of the process is pretty much the same. As soon as you have your audience and your email list, you start engaging with them, ask them questions, ask them to answer to your mails so that you get an understanding for who these people actually are. And then ask yourself what kinds of products they might need and they might want to purchase. This really is about the human relationship, and the process is basically the same. It might take you a little more time if you have less time to dedicate to it, but part-time actually sounds as if you have a lot of time to do it, because when I started, I was doing a full-time internship and I was finishing my studies. I learned a lot of this stuff without having a lot of time, to be honest, but the process is the same because it is all about having your niche figured out, attracting your audience, engaging with that audience, and then figuring out how you can create value through products and services for them. Another cool question: are novelists using these strategies to generate passive income? They are, because the principle of a funnel is the same. It's just that you will have a different approach in terms of how you engage with your audience, because as a novelist, you will not really solve the problem of your reader, but it's a different approach, right? They're following you because of different reasons, not necessarily because you are providing a solution to a problem. And also the products that you're selling will look different. So that can be something based on the books or the content you create. But the behind the scenes business system is the same, but on the front end, what you're delivering to your audience will be different, because depending on what exactly you write, it's gonna be a different kind of product or service that you will be able to pitch to your audience, because they are probably not going to look for an online course to purchase from you. That's just my assumption now, not knowing what exactly why exactly your audience is following you, but the behind the scenes is the same. What will happen in the relationship building and in the sales process will be different. Another question about funnels. So for courses, do you make that a part of the funnel, or should you reserve courses with video to be offered at the end of a free email course? There is no right or wrong. You can do it both ways. There is really no harm in having videos in your email series if you want to do that in the free one. It's actually a great thing, because that way you can build a relationship way quicker and a way more intense relationship, let's put it that way, because video is always more intimate than writing. So there is nothing wrong in doing that. I believe that it's actually a really strong thing to do. We don't have videos in our funnels right now, but that's not because it's wrong. It's just because we are constantly tweaking and iterating as well. But it's actually a really cool thing to have that, because it makes it way easier actually to build that relationship with your audience. Okay, another question by Rocky, and I think that's the final one. In your Freedom Business course, how can you validate that your decisions are sound and that you're going the right direction with developing your online business? Thank you for joining, Rocky. So this is a cool question. So the Freedom Business Accelerator is the program that I'm offering, or that I will be offering very soon. You'll learn more about it. That's really all about how to turn your writing into an online business, where we talk about all these things step by step. And one of the most important things inside the Freedom Business Accelerator is, how do we make sure that every member of this program is efficient and effective? So we don't want you to waste any time. The reason for that is that Philip and I wasted a lot of time, and we have created a lot of products, a lot of courses and videos that we either never launched, or that we launched but they failed because it was the wrong product, we didn't have an audience, and lots of other reasons. And that's why we call it pre-selling, and validating and testing your idea is so important. So inside that Freedom Business Accelerator, we are showing you exactly how to figure out what kinds of products your audience might actually want to purchase from you, how you can validate it, and especially how to validate it before creating the product, because we know that creating your first products or services is time consuming. The more often you do it, the easier it gets. But at the beginning, you just showing up on camera, or doing an audio recording, or even creating a PDF can take a lot of time, and we don't want you to invest that time into something that's not going to generate an income, because we know that you're all busy, that you are monetizing your writing on Medium, etc., and you don't want to waste your time creating products that are not going to be worth it, in a way that they are not going to be sold. Because having a great product is one thing, but having people to buy it is an entirely different thing. And that's kind of where the magic happens. And yeah, that's how we're validating it. We are teaching you how to be in touch with your audience and how to figure it out by actually asking your audience all these things. I hope this is helpful and this answers your questions. Last question: how do you approach pricing your digital products? There are lots of different ways to do that. We are doing it differently for every product, but the main thing you need to ask yourself is what's the value of that product. And you can always go up and you can go down, but that's also, for me, what's also important is to have that kind of gut feeling for the product, and to ask myself, what would that knowledge have been worth for me if I had it right from the beginning? To be honest, if I would only ask myself this one question, I would price my products higher. But in the case of the Medium Writing Academy, for example, it's priced at $500. $500 is an amount that you can easily make back in a really short amount of time if you follow what we teach you inside. like, this is kind of an easy approach, because inside the program you learn exactly how to make money, so it's easy to tell you when you will get the money side back of it. But apart from that, there are actually also a lot of different approaches that we teach inside the Freedom Business Accelerator in terms of pricing. It's also different depending on the stage of the product. So the first products that somebody will get pitched, in our case, is always less costly, and that's why, let me get back to the slide. For example, oops, that was too much. In our funnel, that's why this product is actually priced at $37, because that's the first product our subscribers ever see. And we have actually been testing this. We had this product up for only $7 for a while, and then we changed it to $37, and we realized that the total revenue is actually the same, which is an interesting thing, because if you have the same revenue, the best thing you can do is to put the lower price on it, because that way you will have more paying customers who might later purchase higher priced products. But this is, this is one approach. If you have multiple products, you will always try to get your people or your audience into the lower priced products first and then go up. So in that case, this is the lower price product. And then when we move on, we have the ultimate goal achievement system here, for example. This is a product that's priced at $150, simply because it's way more comprehensive, right? This is just an ebook. This is an entire program with worksheets, cheat sheets, and all you need to map out your goal achievement system. And yeah, but there are lots of different ways to do that. It's not just one correct way. We have different approaches based on different audiences and different products. But I hope this gives you a basic overview. All right. No other questions. That's actually been a long session. Thank you all for joining. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments box. If you're watching the replay, let us know by commenting below and letting us know if this has been helpful for you, if this is something you have been thinking about in the past, or if this is something that you will think about in the future. And I'm really interested in hearing your opinions. If you already have an email system set up, feel free to drop your link in the comments box. Actually, I'm really interested in checking that out as well. And yeah, thank you for joining, and I'll see you in one of the next sessions. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.